Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Greetings, everyone. Jonathan here with some slightly bad news. There will not be a new episode of Haunt Weekly this week. And the reason for that is that illness that a little while ago made it so that we were late because I was so ill I couldn't edit has been making its way through the house. And to make a long story short and is omitting any unnecessary details, this past week has been a mess of illness. No one has been 100% this past week. And between that and the yarn store and some craziness at our day jobs, there hasn't been time, spoons, energy, feeling well, or sit down, write show notes, and basically do the things we have to do to create an episode. So, the two bits of good news. First, we do have a episode this week. We're revisiting episode 261, so a little bit over a year, 100 episodes ago. I believe this is from 2 years ago. We did an episode on anti-Christmas music, and by God, it's still one of my favorite episodes. It's a great one. The list that we include in the show notes is still the list to that year's anti-Christmas playlist. It's largely unchanged, some removed, some added, but you're going to find most of the greats on there. So it's definitely an episode worth checking out, especially if you're wanting a break from the more directly haunt-related stuff. The other piece of good news is we are coming back next week with a research-heavy episode where we will be talking about a Christmas-related legend, and we'll be examining how the legend formed and talking about how haunts can do something similar with their local legends. It's a very interesting topic. We've been doing a lot of work on it kind of in the background, and I'm excited to bring it to you next week. So, no new episode this week. Tons of anti-Christmas music coming your way. Next week, heavy research topic. So, thank you all for your patience, and we will see you all next week. Now, on to the episode.
Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and haunted entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you once again. We are recording this live Sunday after Thanksgiving in these United States. It'll be going out the next day on the recorded version. But yes, we come to you after a week of rest, relaxation, way too much drinking, and a lot of anti-Christmas music, as we're getting into, as this week's topic is steering away a little bit from haunted attractions, but something that I think is still related. Because every time we've mentioned this list, we've gotten questions about it.
Right. Well, that and, haunts are now doing Christmas shows.
Yes, they are.
And some of this music would be appropriate for that.
Yes, indeed. Now, what I'm going to do in just 1 second, because I forgot to do it before we jumped on, is I'm going to drop the playlist link into the chat. It's an unlisted list right now. It'll be made searchable tomorrow as the live version goes out. Mm-hmm. But for right now, because we are all friends here in this live chat, I am dropping the current Anti-Christmas 2020 YouTube playlist into the chat. I just hit enter. It is there.
It is there now.
It is there. That is the list. So if you are available, basically what I'm encouraging you to do is going to be in the show notes as well, obviously. And you can, by then you'll be able to search for it. If you're watching us live, it's going to be a little difficult to go back and forth as we talk about these songs. Maybe take some notes. Have some pen and paper handy and take some notes on things you really want to hear. But if you're catching this in the recorded version, you have the luxury of being able to hit pause and listen to the songs as we talk about them.
Yeah.
Because one of the limitations we have is since this podcast is going on YouTube, we really can't play song clips.
Right.
Because we will get smited by the copyright gods of YouTube so quickly. And we can't have that. We're too small of a channel. We would get the yeet so hard it would not even be funny.
Yeah.
So we can't really do that. We want to maintain our presence on YouTube and maintain our good graces there. But indeed, we'll be talking about this list as we go throughout the show today. And all that information, all that stuff I just mentioned about the playlist will be posted on our various channels. You can catch us at hauntweekly.com. We're Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. It'll be in all three places. YouTube.com/hauntweekly is our YouTube channel. You'll find it there. You can also catch us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. Definitely feel free to join us in the live chat every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Takes a little bit over an hour because we usually spend like 10 minutes jibber-jabbering and then 10 minutes jibber-jabbering after. So it's like an hour and a half-ish to be your time to come join us live. Or you can catch us, once again, Monday afternoon, whatever random time processing finishes. In the early to mid-afternoon is when it goes live to everyone else in the recorded version. So yes, thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing the answers to this week's question of the week, which we'll get to in just a second. But first things first, we have to announce the last week's winner, where we turn to you guys for help on finding additional anti-Christmas or Christmas comedy songs. And the winner we picked is
James Thurman with Christmas at Ground Zero by Weird Al. This has been on our list for a long time.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorites. So, James, congratulations. We'll be getting in touch to get your address and contact info.
You know, we are still behind on getting out the prizes.
Yeah.
We have a big batch probably going out soon. It'll cover pretty much all of October.
Probably tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. We're going to try to do the signing and the addressing tonight. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're going to get it all done. But
yeah. Well, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's kind of, pretty egotistical of me to think that people want stuff that's made by me, like paintings and stuff. It's like, so if you don't want that, just let me know. If you just want to participate in the thing.
And just be a winner and not get free stuff.
Yeah. Which is kind of silly. But,
Yes, indeed. Well, that takes us to this week's question of the week, which is, what is your favorite winter myth/legend? We'll be doing an episode on this sometime in the coming weeks. It won't be next week, but it'll be the one after or the one after that.
Yeah.
So we've got it coming up. But yes, what is your favorite winter myth or legend? It could be. There's a whole. We've done episodes on this before about Christmas myths and Christmas horror. Definitely send us your picks here. We want to hear what you guys think are the best winter myths and legends. So drop it in the chat. Once again, you can, if you're listening live, drop it in the chat. We'll get it there. If you're catching the recorded version, any of the channels is valid.
Yeah.
You can post it as a comment on YouTube at youtube.com/hauntweekly. You can post it as a comment on the Facebook page, facebook.com/hauntweekly. Post it as a DM or as an @reply on Twitter, twitter.com/hauntweekly, or use hauntweekly.com's email form. Yes. All are legit, and we've had winners from every channel.
I think the only one we haven't had a winner from is Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's probably the weakest of the channels in terms of like participation. And that's something I've noticed in the haunted attraction industry broadly. Like, haunts will have like 10 bajillion followers on Facebook and like 3 kids and a goat on Twitter, So, I don't know. It seems to be a thing with the entirety of the industry. So, yeah, we've got a lot coming up this week. Housekeeping right now, we have a guest next week.
Yes.
We'll announce details of that after we post this episode, I think.
Well, yeah, we have to confirm with them because it's been a couple of weeks.
Absolute 100% final confirmation. We're anticipating doing it. We've been planning it for a while, but scheduling is always a mug. Mm-hmm. So I don't like making promises we can't keep, and we're definitely trying to have a guest and in the later stages of negotiating a guest. But yeah, it's going to be fun. As far as what we've been working on, just continuing work on the yard display.
Yeah.
We had a very interesting moment. What was it? Friday, I think it was. We were out working in it, and the new neighbor across the street came over to take photos of it and tell us how much she loves it. She just moved in, I think, a month ago.
Something like that, yeah. Not long.
Not long. It's a rental house, so we're used to new neighbors coming and going there fairly frequently. Mm-hmm. But she popped over to say hi, said she loved it, she took a lot of photos of it, and said she's going to send this to her family members and they're going to be jelly and all that. So yeah, and we had the light incident.
Okay.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Because we bought a bunch of fairy lights to turn our deer stand into a Christmas tree. And it looks way better than it has any business looking.
It actually works. I don't know how.
It's crazy how much it looks like a real Christmas tree, especially as you're making the turn onto the street. It's nuts. But we didn't quite have enough to do the very bottom.
Right.
And originally we didn't worry about it because we were going to put up a scene with a backdrop and weren't going to mess with it. But we decided to skip the scene with the backdrop thing. Just didn't make sense with what we were doing.
No.
And so we said, well, now we need to get the rest of the lights. So I went to Amazon. I reordered the exact lights. Got them. And the first sign of trouble was when they came in a different box.
Yeah.
Made by the same company, same strand, same look, same everything, but in a totally different packaging. And then we got them, you strung them, plugged them in, and they came on, and they were different colors. They're beautiful Halloween colors.
Yes, they're purple and orange. The rest of the tree is green and blue and red, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a yellow in there, too.
Anyway.
But, yeah, it's noticeably different.
Yeah, we have one more scene to finish in the art display. Unfortunately, New Orleans has been getting steady rain since Friday evening.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly steady. Like literally a guy with a bunch of animals on Ark just flipped us off.
I think it started raining Wednesday, and then we had Thursday because we had to cancel our outdoor Thanksgiving.
But it mostly just threatened Thursday. It didn't actually start coming down. And then Friday, Saturday, and all day today, it has just been one downpour after another, wave after wave after wave, and the temperature just dropped like crazy. It went from being in the 80s to being, I think we're at 42 now.
Yes, we had an 80-degree Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did. But indeed, now the temperature feels about right to me. I'm actually very, very happy about it. I would like it to get a little colder to kill the goddamn mosquitoes.
Yes.
Even if it's just one night.
And I mean, there's so much rain, and we haven't done our trick yet of zip tying the cords off the ground, so I'm pretty sure if you stepped on the yard, you'd be electrocuted because of the standing water in the yard.
Yeah, right now we've still got all the lazy wiring. We haven't gone through and actually, because we were still, everything was temporary. And we typically only stake things and do it proper whenever we know it's not being moved again, because it's if you zip tie the plugs off the ground using the stakes and then you have to move it, it's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And nobody wants a pain in the ass.
Right.
So yeah, we've been doing that. Real fast, I know we've been talking about this a lot, though I do want to throw it out one more time. Raven's Grin and GoFundMe is still going on. You can check out tinyurl.com/GoRavensGrin. They are only asking for $7,000. They've passed $5,100, almost $5,200 now. We actually did a whole episode on them, episode 87, way back in July 2017. We made the trip to Mount Carroll, Illinois. We saw Jim Warfield. We saw Jessica Warfield. We saw just how insane he is.
Yeah.
I mean, in just like 2 days hanging out with him, I have enough stories to last a lifetime of this nutter. And I mean that in the nicest and most wonderful way possible.
Yes.
Because we're all nutters here, but
Jim's awesome.
He's amazing. He's just so wonderful, so kind, and he has been closed since March. It's a year-round haunt. It's his only source of income. Please, 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 if you can, kick in. It's such a unique haunted attraction experience. They also have an Etsy shop on their site you can use to contribute if you want, t-shirts and stuff. And I do recommend it. The merch is killer. And also, Haunted Illinois is doing a special fundraisery thing for them. Haunted-Illinois-co.square.site is the storefront. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. They are selling special Raven's Grin Inn masks, $15 each, plus $4 shipping. All the proceeds go to Jim and Raven's Grin Inn.
Yeah.
And we ordered ours. Encourage you to order yours. They look badass. I can't wait. They look really good, actually. I'm excited just because it's another good-looking mask.
Yeah.
So check that out. A lot of great ways to support the Warfields. I mean, I know we're all suffering right now. I know it's difficult for everyone, but we have to do what we can to preserve this unique and amazing attraction.
Yeah, and if you're able to.
And if you're able to, obviously.
Not everybody's able to.
Nope. If you're not able to, share it on social media. Help us get the word out. Our audience is small, but together, if we work together, we can reach many.
Yes.
All right. So this week we're doing something we haven't really done in 260 episodes of Haunt Weekly, and we're talking about a topic that is not super directly related to haunted attractions. We've had a few, like we're doing the winter and Christmas myths and legends,
right?
But we've always done it with a slant of this can apply to your haunt. You can use these myths and legends,
right? These are the horror ones, other than Although we eventually did a Krampus episode, but we wanted to introduce people to the other scary legends that were around Christmas time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but we've mentioned it multiple times over the last 260 episodes, usually right around this time of year, that we're working on our anti-Christmas music list. It is a Thanksgiving tradition for us to, after we have stuffed ourselves silly with turkey and dressing and whatnots, we start work on that year's version of the list. We pull up last year's, remove anything we don't want to keep,
right,
and start trying to find new things to add. The general rule is we try to, remove a few and add a few. So let's just first go into why we do this.
Yeah.
Because this is going to seem like a weird tradition to nearly everyone.
Yeah. So Christmas tries to kill me every year. I mean,
literally.
It does. It literally does. Because allergies, and the first year that we didn't have a real Christmas tree and I was not going to the hospital because of my fever, I wound up still in the hospital on Christmas Day with a gash in the back of my leg and getting many, many stitches.
Yeah, and you have an allergy to like the entire line of Christmas trees, firs, cedars, that family there is what does you in.
Any of the live green stuff.
And I find it amazing. Your allergy is so rare that even though you repeatedly went to the hospital with damn near lethal fever year after year after year, no one picked up on that.
No,
not the doctors, not your parents, no one.
I mean, it's just like it's a holiday. It's the holiday season. It's right after Thanksgiving. Crystal's going to be sick for the next month and a half. Yeah.
It's a mystery, Shaggy.
Yeah.
So, you had to deal with that. And, for me personally, I view Christmas as a nuisance. I mean, it sounds very Ebenezer Scrooge-like, and I guess it is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I hate the fact that I can't go shopping without being goddamn trampled. I just want to get my groceries, Brenda. I just want to go to Walmart and get an HDMI cable,
Yeah.
Basically, though, music is super repetitive. It is everywhere you go. We play Whamageddon every year.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we did it.
Right.
We made it. Last year, we got taken out at a goddamn sushi restaurant. What the fuck were they doing playing Last Christmas at a sushi restaurant?
Yeah.
I thought we were safe.
I guess you've got to put in the Whamageddon rules into the show notes.
Yeah,
since you've mentioned it.
Basically the rules for Whamageddon, for the people that don't know, is you try to avoid hearing Wham's Last Christmas. It has to be Wham's cover. And
the original.
The original, yeah. I mean, Wham's version, the original. And it starts 12:01 a.m., December 1st, and goes through Christmas. You can listen to covers. You can listen to instrumental version. It's got to be Wham's version of it, is the rule. Yeah. But the thing is, until you start playing Wham again, you do not realize how everywhere that song is.
Yeah.
And you are sent to Whamhalla the moment you realize what song it is.
Yeah.
And we all three got taken out at once last year. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, I just don't like the fact that there's obligations to it, because you're obliged to give gifts, you're obliged to do visits, to participate in office and related events.
Yeah, I don't really like the office ones, and I guess I need to figure out what my new office does, because they probably do something for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I actually like giving gifts to my family. I'm dubious about getting them. I'm not good with getting them, but I like giving them.
And honestly, when you're an adult, giving gifts is just weird, because I'm a grown-ass adult. If I want something, I will buy it for myself if I'm able to. And if I am not able to buy it for myself, I'm sure as hell not going to ask anyone else to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm a grown-ass person. I get it as a kid, when you have no ability, to buy gifts, and you are literally at the mercy of the adults. That's one thing, but as an adult, it's like, I can just get my own stuff, thank you very much. And basically, one year, we tried to figure out when this started, but we think it was right around 2003, 2004. Basically, right as we were moving to New Orleans, is when we think we started this.
What?
The anti-Christmas list.
No, it was before that.
Okay, so it was like, we've only been together since 2001.
Then it was 2001.
Okay.
Because
I mean, sorry, 2000. We've been together since 2000. It's 20 years.
I think it was 2001, 2002. It was before we got to New Orleans.
And I know it was before we went to New Orleans, but that was the year before. But it doesn't matter. It's been damn near 20 years we've been doing this.
Yes.
That's the point. And the thing is, we noticed, as we keep noticing, that Christmas is coming earlier each year.
Yeah. Something haunters
And now it's
complain
colliding
about
with
all the time.
Halloween, and that's really pissing me off as a haunter.
Yeah, the only thing that's good about that is that the cords and
Christmas light and lights, yeah.
yard lighting stuff is out early.
Yeah, I
It's the only thing good.
don't mind the yard display stuff being out early, but yeah, it's really frustrating. Like 3 weeks before Halloween, to see the Halloween stuff being taken down at Walmart, and they're putting up Christmas stuff.
Yeah, I think Lowe's is the worst about that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Lowe's also does their Halloween first. They seem to be like leading the holidays by a huge margin.
Mostly.
Yeah.
At Home puts theirs out earlier than Lowe's.
Well, At Home has a 365 Halloween section.
Yeah.
So.
Because they don't mark it down, though. They just try to get rid of it.
Yeah, basically.
So.
But anyways, we were noticing it was coming earlier and earlier. And thus, the problem we have is we both tend to get a little bit of Christmas cheer. But because it starts so early, that Christmas cheer is like mid-November.
Well, and I think the year that we started it, we also had extra family obligations.
Yeah.
Because I remember listening to it on the way to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Our very first cut of it,
Yeah.
which was on a CD then. Which
Yeah,
we'll
get to that in a minute, yeah.
But I remember sticking it in the truck and listening to it on the way to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think it was our second or third one.
Yeah. So basically, we started making this a Thanksgiving tradition to build our anti-Christmas playlist.
Yeah.
Now, our anti-Christmas playlist is basically a collection of Christmas parodies, songs, comedy bits, etc., that vent our frustrations about the holiday.
Yeah.
Like I said, we started this way back, sometime in the early aughts. And as she alluded to, the first ones were burned into CDs for us to listen to while driving.
Yeah.
Namely, while driving to visit family.
Exactly.
Or driving to and from family. Because back then we were making regular trips to see both sets of my grandparents and things like that. And see family. So we would always put the CD in the car. And that was how we dealt with the 1 hour trip.
Right, exactly.
Hour to hour and a half trip each way.
Yeah.
But, time changed and technology changed. It then became an MP3 playlist.
Yeah.
We did that for a good while, actually. And then we moved it onto Spotify, streaming service, which Spotify was rough in a way because we lost a lot of the more obscure stuff that we had.
Right.
Like, we had found some really weird, interesting stuff. In fact, we have one song I'll probably touch on a little bit later that we... we had CD and MP3 up, and we could burn it, but it's not available. It's not been released anywhere on streaming, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere. So, yeah, we had stuff like that we lost, and then we moved it to Apple Music, which that was about a lateral move in terms of library.
Spotify to Apple was pretty lateral.
And now we're on YouTube, and we've gained back some of the lost tracks on that move. Because they've got legit legal releases. They're on official channels.
Yeah.
But they were not burned to CDs. They were never released on Spotify. They're legit releases, but they just never made it to Spotify or Apple Music.
Right.
Because they're usually from obscure labels and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it, but one of my favorites happened when we moved to YouTube. We got it back, and I was so happy about that. So
yeah. So here's the deal. Our current list, which is available in the chat now and will be available, like I said, in the show notes and available basically everywhere. We're going to put it on the Facebook page directly. We're going to do that Tuesday, I think. But yeah, it has 85 songs on it. We've been working on revising, honing, growing this list every year for damn near 2 decades.
yeah.
It has 85 songs. According to a tool that I have that tells me the length of a playlist, it is 4.5 hours of straight music.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
It is.
Now, bear in mind, the list is always in flux, even mid-season. So a song or two may be removed, a song or two may be added.
Right.
Keep checking back, looking for changes, because we're constantly removing and adding things to it. But right now, this one should be pretty settled for this season. I feel pretty good about this one.
Yeah, we've done a lot of exploring of new songs, so...
Yeah, more so than I think we've done in a while. And yeah, each song has been handpicked by one of us over the course of nearly the last 20 years. And if you're just getting the audio and don't want to go to the show notes, I did make a tiny URL that I can give out. I've forgotten I'd done that.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart cookie, but I just forget how smart I am sometimes. It's tinyurl.com/anti-xmas2020. It's ANTIXMAS 2020, numeral 2020.
Yes.
2020. So check it out. Now, we wanted to talk about it, and we've got about, 30-ish minutes we can talk about this list and things on it. And like I said, we're not playing samples of it. I encourage you, if you're listening to the recorded version, feel free to pause this. Feel free to tab over to the YouTube list and check out songs that sound interesting while we're discussing it.
Yeah.
Take your time. We'll be here.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a little more difficult if you're getting the live version, but if you're on the live version, just take notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just put the list on shuffle later. I mean, it's your choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
because they're not in any order in the list.
No. There's 2 songs that are in order. Everything else is fairly random.
Yeah. Yeah, first and last. Right?
First and last have a specific order. Everything else is more or less random.
Yep.
I did pair 2 others we'll discuss in a minute.
Yes.
But that's it. There's only a couple.
Those 2 need to be together.
Those 2 need to be together. There's only a couple places where pairing matters at all. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so the way I think the easiest to discuss this is to talk about the types of songs on the list. And that brings us to the first type.
Parodies of Christmas songs.
Indeed. This is kind of a classic Christmas comedy. You take a well-loved Christmas song, whether it's a modern Christmas song or a historical one,
Right.
and you make it funny, and you use that as the vehicle for venting said frustration.
Yeah, I actually had a teacher who had us do this, make a, rewrite the lyrics for a Christmas carol. Mm-hmm. And we could pick the Christmas carol, and we had to rewrite the lyrics. And that's basically what this is, because you keep the same music.
Yeah.
You try to make it funny.
And which is interesting that when we talk about parodies of Christmas songs, one artist that isn't in this list, particular list, is Weird Al Yankovic.
Right.
He has Christmas songs, we're going to discuss them.
Yeah.
But none of them are parodies of popular songs.
No, he writes his own.
He wrote his own. He actually doesn't do as many parodies as a lot of people think he does.
Right.
But anyways, the absolute legend in this area is Bob Rivers.
Yes. He has multiple albums.
Now, Bob Rivers is actually a radio show.
Right.
But all the tracks are attributed to him and released by him. So
Right.
I'm not sure exactly how this all works. But he has literally 2 albums full of this. Mm-hmm. And other loose tracks just hanging out there. Basically, he's written so much anti-Christmas music, we could probably do this whole playlist just with him.
Yes.
But we don't.
No, we choose not to.
We limit ourselves to a handful. That said, there are a few that stand out and we do keep around. One is Wreck the Malls, which is a parody of Deck the Halls.
Yeah.
Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire, which is a parody of the old King Cole song Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. Mm-hmm. This time, though, they're roasting Alvin and they're Alvin, Simon, Theodore knockoffs they have, and it's absolutely hilarious. The 12 Pains of Christmas.
Wait. Go ahead.
12 Pains of Christmas, obviously, is the 12 Days of Christmas.
Right, which Greg Reinhardt wrote in for his answer last week.
Yep. They basically come from, he has 2 albums. One is Twisted Christmas, and the other is Bob Rivers Presents More Twisted Christmas. I have no idea why that's the title. It could have just been More Twisted Christmas, Bob. You could have made it real easy on us. And he got screwed up.
He had to have his name there.
Yes, he did. But sadly, we don't have access to the radio show, and the Bob Rivers site has fallen into dire disrepair.
Yeah.
So much so that he actually did an anti-Christmas podcast sometime in the past few years, and it's not available for download anymore, even though he links to it. So,
right.
And it's unfortunate. We don't have access to his radio show, but like I said, he could carry the whole damned list.
Yeah. And our next thing we're going to talk about are Smothers Brothers.
Yes.
I grew up listening to the Smothers Brothers because my grandmother had their records. So Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's really short and sweet, to the point.
It's like 16 seconds. Blink and you miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's 16 seconds, and the first 8 of it is chatter between them.
Yeah.
Setting up the bit.
Yeah.
It's literally blink and you'll miss it, but my God, is it when it hits you, it's funny. Mm-hmm. And there's multiple parodies of I Won't Be Home for Christmas. Now, these are kind of weird in that they're using, the song is I'll Be Home for Christmas, the original.
Right.
there's several versions called "I Won't Be Home for Christmas,"
Right.
which takes some of the hooks from the song. These aren't as direct parodies. They take hooks and some musical elements from it, but they're very different songs, and they're actually very different from each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, because you have two very different artists here we're talking about. In Blink 182, I Won't Be Home for Christmas, and Ray Stevens.
Right. I don't know if you can get more diverse on the spectrum of music.
It's wild in terms of how indifferent they are, but the two songs are thematically almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Thematically almost identical.
Yeah.
Tone and musical style, it's just separated completely.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it hits right to those obligations, the family obligations that sometimes you don't feel like keeping.
No, and then that's it. That's what it ties to.
Yeah.
And they both deal with very similar situations, oddly enough. So, I definitely recommend both of those. They're both in the list. And you can listen to them back to back if you want, just to contrast and compare. I don't think I put them back to back, but you're free to try.
Yeah.
You're free to see how it goes for you.
And
the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes, Tom Lair's A Christmas Carol, because I love Tom
We
Lair.
praise Tom Lair in these parts.
Yes, I understand that music was not his passion to continue with, but I really miss hearing new things.
Yeah. He had probably one of the shortest musical careers. I think he only did like 31 concerts, released 29 songs, and he's lived on as a legend today just because all of his stuff is so goddamn good and so witty. He was an amazing satirist.
Yeah.
And he did one Christmas song, A Christmas Carol, which is perfect. And it actually, even though it's called A Christmas Carol, it actually parodies a bunch of Christmas carols.
Yes.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing is in there. Joy to the World is in there. All of these Christmas carols, one after another, getting satirized.
Yes, and if you don't know who Tom Lair is, look him up, because I guarantee you will like him.
Educate yourself. He basically, the story behind Tom Lair is
Go ahead.
Is that he started doing the satirical music, self-publishing it, got really famous really fast, and just after about a few years decided, I'm not having much fun with this celebrity crap. I'm going to go back to teaching mathematics.
Yes, which he still does. Well,
No, he retired. He retired a few years ago.
Yeah, a couple
He
years.
just retired. He's still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, he just released all of his music, the compositions at the very least, into the public domain, or as near as he could. And I actually wrote about that on plagiarismtoday.com if you want to learn more about that whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's my business. That's my day job side. But definitely worth checking out. The next category, though, is parodies of mainstream songs. There's not as many of these.
No, not really.
But Psycho Stick is very notable for having done a bunch of these. The two we include on the list is Zombie Claus, which is a parody of
It's Rob Zombie's Dragula.
Yeah, it's Rob Zombie.
I believe.
Shoot, I forget which song it is all of a sudden. I'm totally drawing a blank, and that's embarrassing, because I know my Rob Zombie pretty damn well.
And you know your Psycho Stick.
I know my Psycho Stick very well. It's embarrassing as hell. Wow, that just mine just totally went blank on me. And the other one is N.O.E.L, which is BYOB.
Right.
They're parody of that. And then, of course, there's Leo Marichoili?
Okay, so he's Frog Leap Studios.
Yeah, Frog Leap Studios. Screw that.
Yes, he does it a lot. He has Run Rudolph Run. I think he does one every year, a cover, and these are metal covers. So if you need your last Christmas fix and it's after December 1st, you can look him up.
Yeah.
You can play his, because it's totally legit.
Yep. And it's actually really good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. He does metal covers. He did like Baby Shark, for the love of God. He
did
metal covers of just random popular music, and they're all good. They all sound amazing. I would definitely check out his work. Frog Leap Studios on YouTube. We have Run Rudolph Run in there, but that's not so much an anti-Christmas song as it is just we want to introduce the world to this guy because he's awesome.
Exactly.
All right, then we get into one of my two favorite categories.
Yeah. the new Christmas carols.
Yeah. People that are creating totally new Christmas songs that are keeping more in my spirit of the holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so on this list we've got Red Peters. He's done several.
Yeah. It's weird. He has almost as much as Bob Rivers,
Right.
in terms of quantity, but he doesn't actually have a damn Christmas album. He just sprinkles them like crack through his other albums. It's one or two like here and there. He doesn't have an actual Christmas album I'm aware of.
Yeah. Yeah, so they include things like You Ain't Getting Shit for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Holy Shit, It's Christmas. And he has a 2-hour podcast featuring anti-Christmas
Yeah, sorry, Red
music.
Peters was the one whose site was falling apart, and he had the podcast. I get them mixed up in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Part of it's because Holy Shit, It's Christmas and Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire
Right.
pair up perfectly because they're both dealing with chipmunk knockoffs.
They are. Yeah.
So
So it's easy to confuse them.
yeah, basically, go listen to Holy Shit, It's Christmas, and then listen to Chipmunks Roasting on an Open Fire. It tells a complete story totally on accident.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think it's deliberate, but it tells a perfect story.
it does.
So yeah, he's got his Christmas music was from all over the shop. He's got multiple albums that have Christmas songs. Definitely check out his work, and he's got other great tracks on He recently did a duet with Margaret Cho.
Yes.
We didn't include it in our list. It was fine. It's just we already had a fair amount of Red Peters, and I like other work of his better.
Right.
Next up is another man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Gonna be saying that a lot through this, aren't I?
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna be saying it again in just a minute. Jean Lajoie, Canadian musician. If you're not familiar with the work of Jean Lajoie, that's Lajoie is the last name. He is amazing in what he does. He's done a ton of great comedy and musical comedy. He has 3 that made it onto our list.
Mm-hmm.
The Best Christmas Song.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were including that one or not.
It's on there right now at the
Yeah.
very least. Merry Christmas! ! Which I freaking love. That is like one of the best modern looks at it because
Yeah.
it's all about how, yeah, you're not really my friend or my family, but I know you, so you get a Christmas text.
Yeah.
And I'll even type it out for you. I won't copy it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's beautiful sentiment. Send that to everyone that you kind of sort of know.
Exactly.
And then the classic, one of the quintessential classics of all time,
Yeah.
Cold-Blooded Christmas.
I love Cold-Blooded
Oh my
Christmas.
God.
Like, on our list, I have maybe 10 songs that I absolutely love and need to hear. This is one of them.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that gets added first for me because it's so twisted.
And I'm going to
no.
be careful because I don't want to spoil it. 'Cause
Right.
It's got some stuff in there you don't want to spoil. You
Yeah.
definitely want to have the
Yeah.
moment the first time you listen to it. But we'll just say this. It starts with the vicious murder of Santa Claus and goes downhill from there.
Exactly.
How's that?
That's
Literally,
fair enough.
the first few lines are him shooting Santa Claus. Hey, where did a Canadian get a gun?
I'm sure some of our...
I just realized it was a handgun. It wasn't a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
But anyway, it starts with the vicious murder of Santa Claus,
Yeah.
and just it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
Right.
So that's all you need to know. Definitely, Cold-Blooded Christmas, Jean Lajoie. It's in the list. A must listen
Yes.
for your anti-Christmas
Definitely.
kicks. And another, the man, the myth, the legend. Kevin Bloody Wilson, Australian.
Yes.
From Canada to Australia. He did a song called Hey Santa,
Right.
which has been covered endlessly. Bowser and Blue did a really good cover of it, actually.
Yeah, I think I actually like theirs
I think I
better
like
than
theirs
the
better
original.
musically, but we have other Bowser and Blue, and, you know,
Yep.
and I don't know. It just made more sense. And that the music video for Kevin Wilson's was better, so
No, it's fine.
it made sense to include it, isn't it? But yeah, so it's basically all about a parent who's like, hey, when I was a kid, we had dirt poor Christmas every year.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing better. I'm trying to give my kids what they want, and they're being ungrateful little bastards is the whole point of the song.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with that frustration in your own family, Kevin Bloody Wilson, Hey Santa is your go-to.
Yeah.
And it's also unique in that it's the only song on our list that has a response from another artist.
Exactly. Yeah. So these are the ones that are paired together.
Yes.
This is the first set that we'll mention. But yes, Buddy Good responded to Kevin Bloody Wilson with Kevin Bloody Wilson's bike.
Which unfortunately fucks it up, because it wasn't Kevin Bloody Wilson's bike that the song was about. It was his son's bike, but we're going to let it go, because it's that great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that great. It is a great follow-up to it, but I've never seen, like, one comedy song get a response from a very different comedy artist.
Yeah.
These two people are very polar opposite musically, and apparently in family friendliness and everything.
Right.
And just like Kevin Bloody Wilson's that Hey Santa is one of the most vulgar songs ever. Grandma might have a heart attack playing at the wrong time. And Buddy Goods is so sweet and so tender.
Yeah.
But it's so weird, and it's such an awesome pairing. It's like fire and ice. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Next on our list for this is Scruffy the Elf.
By Scruffy the Elf.
By Scruffy the Elf. Yes.
Literally, you can look it up. It's on Amazon. He's Scruffy the Elf, and he sang the song Scruffy the Elf. It's all about the trials and tribulations of being a hairy elf.
Yes. He's also taller in the video than the other elves.
It's weird. It may be
I think he's just the outsider in the workshop.
Yeah.
So.
And it's all about life at the North Pole, and basically, it just check it out. The music video for it is also that's a great one to watch too.
Yeah. Okay, next up's Eric Idle's "Fuck Christmas."
Fuck Christmas. I mean, come on, it's Monty Python, guys. You know there's gonna be some genius here.
Yeah.
I love my piano songs. I have a thing for lounge music. I always have.
Yeah.
Richard Cheese is one of my favorite musicians. So I love my lounge music.
Yeah.
And this fits right in with it. And in fact, there might be more lounge music coming your way when we do our favorites in a little bit.
Okay.
And finally on this list, and there's others, obviously, we're just pulling highlights from this category.
Right.
Paul and Storm, who, by the way, I found out did the music for the latest season of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes, you were blown away.
I was blown away by that. Not because it's like, I didn't think they were good enough to do it. I just didn't realize how small this world was.
Right.
You know. They did a song called Grandma's Christmas Dinner. I'm not going to say anything about it because
I love it.
I love it. It's such a...
And if I say I love something that's a song, it's because it's messed up.
It is it's really messed up. It is really, and you get it. It's another ambush song.
Yeah.
It starts out all sweet and tender, and then it just ambushes you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it, but just be warned. You're coming in. You're walking into it.
Yeah.
Okay, the next category, drinking songs. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, this is also family songs, which is funny because I was going to separate these two categories out for the conversation. The Venn diagram was a circle. Every song about dealing with Christmas and your family, other than like Hey Santa,
Right.
was a drinking song.
Yeah.
So, what the hell? They're going together now, right? Mm-hmm. And one of my personal favorites, one of the 10 songs I have to hear, as you put it,
Right.
Big and Rich, Drunk on Christmas. And also the spawning of the Drunk on Christmas Challenge.
Yes. There is a drinking challenge related to this song. We have done it.
It is. Okay, I am a heavy drinker. I can drink a lot of alcohol and be fine. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that. It's not a lot of booze. You have 24 hours to consume 12 drinks. That's fairly easy from a quantity standpoint.
Yeah. That's one per hour.
It's the variety and the mixture that will kill you. Because what you're doing in this is you're drinking each of the 12 drinks mentioned in the song over the course of 24 hours. And these guys have some very eclectic tastes in alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll just read the drinks out, and you got to do it in this order.
Yeah.
This is the order they're mentioned in the song.
Right.
You ready? A double Jack and Coke or a triple Jack and Coke. It's got to be strong enough to put a reindeer in a coma. I assumed it was a double or a triple.
Yeah.
Rumplemints, a shot of Rumplemints specifically. Right there alone, you should be pausing going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right after the Rumplemints, gin and tonic.
Which was the worst drink for me because I hate gin.
But you get to wash down the gin and tonic with black and tan.
Yeah.
Which I'm drinking black and tan beer, but they mean actual black and tan, the mixed drink.
Right.
Irish whiskey, which can be any Irish whiskey, I'm supposing.
Yes.
Jägermeister. Oh, that was the one I hated because I hate liquor so hard.
Yeah, but we got the vanilla Jaeger.
No, we got the cinnamon one too. We have cinnamon Jaeger. No, you're right. We have the vanilla Jaeger. You're right, and that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Jägermeister, wash that down with a Hefeweizen, then a Stella, then a Stoli, which is a flavored vodka.
Right.
Then a Budweiser, and then any vodka, so whatever you have handy, and then finally, you end it with a drinker's choice.
Yeah.
Any liquor you choose. It just has to be a liquor. So any liquor you choose to end it on. It could be for me, it'd probably be like a rum and diet.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it is not difficult from a quantity standpoint. You can do this and not get trashed, but Jesus, there's guaranteed to be at least 4 drinks in that you hate.
Yeah, and you just have to get through it as
Gotta get
fast
through
as
it.
possible. Because
You just got to do it, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. It is a very, very difficult challenge, and having done it last year, and I don't know if we're attempting it this year.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It was fun. I had fun doing it, but I don't know if I need to do it again.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to attempt it, let us know how it goes. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. Let us know how you got through the drinks in that list you hate, because there's such a wide variety. You're guaranteed to hate some things and like some others.
Yeah. And next on the drinking list is Dropkick Murphys, The Season's Upon Us.
Another one of the 10 songs I need to hear.
Yes, and it's a great video, too. It's a fun video. I always see something new every time I watch it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those videos you can watch 100 times and still find new things. And I love the Dropkick Murphys. Once again, Irish music. It's another style of music I love. I usually get my fill of it every year at Renfest.
Yeah.
But this year...
We didn't go.
We didn't go. Yeah.
There
you go. So I didn't get my fill of Irish music, so I've been listening to some Dropkick Murphys on my downtime, too.
No.
And finally, Robert Earl Keen, Merry Christmas from the Family. It's more on the family song, but it does mention copious amounts of drinking, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the first line's Mom got drunk and then Dad got drunk.
Yep.
Just saying. I think it counts as a drinking song.
Yeah, I think we're... Yeah, there are others in our list.
Yeah.
But those are the 3 we list here.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So, and that's, once again, a fun music video, too. And one of the advantages of switching to YouTube isn't just that we get access to more music and more legit music.
Right.
But that we get access to the music videos.
Right, exactly.
Some of these, it doesn't matter. There's no music video. You're just getting an audio version. But a lot of these, the music video really adds to it.
Right. The next category
Yes.
are depression songs. And this is the one that I was really glad when we went to YouTube that we were able to find. Local H's Disgruntled Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was one of my favorites, and we lost it whenever we moved to Spotify. And then Apple Music didn't have it either. So I'm really happy to have this one back on the list.
We learned about it. I don't remember how we learned about it. We're big Local H fans and have been.
That's how we learned about it.
I think we learned about it just because we were Local H fans. But we actually got the demo disc it was on once upon a time. We have the CD somewhere. And basically it was never officially released. Mm-hmm. It was apparently the band put it out or something. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, it's never been like officially released. But it is amazing, and they perform it live at a lot of their concerts, especially around this time of year. It's such a good song, and it is the perfect tone of angry/depressed.
Yeah. And it's another outsider song, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I mean, because that's part of why I like it so much is I identify a little bit,
Yeah.
As an outsider, someone who doesn't fit in really anywhere.
Yeah. I agree.
So
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that leads us to Bob and Tom, I Hate Christmas. Mm-hmm. Usually Bob and Tom's music, because they're once again another radio show here.
Right.
They do typically more straight comedy.
Yeah.
This one brings the tone way down and starts to really get heavy, but not nearly as heavy as Tom Waits and Peter Murphy.
Yeah.
If you know anything about those two names, you know any Christmas song they do is going to be super dark. And their song's just called Christmas Sucks.
Yeah. And I think the actual first line is it in it.
Give me a noose that I can hang from a juice.
Yes, exactly.
So I can end my misery. It starts with a suicide and goes downhill.
Exactly.
It does not get better.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song, very morose, very the beat on it drags. It gives it like a very ethereal feel to it.
Right.
It's very hard to describe because it's unlike anything else on this list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Anyway.
It's just tough to describe.
Right.
Okay, real fast to get through this. Songs about people with other religions trying to cope with the holiday. Mostly you're going to find Jewish songs, like the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler's one. We didn't include that on our list.
Right.
But of course you have Sarah Silverman's Give the Jew Girl Toys.
Which is fun.
Which is just a fun song.
It is.
I mean, Sarah Silverman knows how to flip from being flirty to creepy like a switch. And it's just...
Exactly.
Oh, she's being all cute. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's cute again. Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
This whole time I'm watching that video, it's like that. And then there's no doubt Oi to the World. Not necessarily an anti-Christmas song, but definitely a different take on Christmas music that I did enjoy.
Yeah. So next up, we've got classic comedy. This is where Weird Al comes in because he writes his own music.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, he's not doing parody for Christmas.
No.
So The Night Santa Went Crazy and Christmas at Ground Zero are the two big...
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he has others.
I don't know. I'd have to
like
I
look.
used to be much more up to date on Weird Al than I am. I mean, I've listened to all of his new CDs, but admittedly, this is not like when I was a teenager and so forth, and was literally hanging on every word he put out. You know, I don't know what changed here, but The Night Santa Went Crazy to me is the better of the two songs. I like the story it tells. I think it's funny, but the challenge is to not get the album version.
Right. Yeah, you've got to get the original writing on that one.
Basically, you'll know if the album version, I mean, I hate to spoil the endings here, but it's the only way to tell the difference. It's the last verse.
Yeah, exactly.
In the album version, Santa Claus goes to prison.
Yes, if he goes to prison in the song you're listening to, then that's the album version. Find the other one.
Yeah, seek it out. It exists.
Yep.
And the easiest
Is it in our list?
I'd have to go back and check. I think we have the album version, unfortunately.
Oh no!
We might have to swap.
We gotta swap that out. Yeah.
But no, one of the problems is the place to find the non-album version is the live performances.
Yeah.
And those don't make it on YouTube as much, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, I think we found it once, but it was difficult.
And it's also difficult to get a very clean, good recording of it. I'd rather have a good, clean recording of the album version than I would difficult to hear one.
Yeah.
But then you got Sherry Stahl's I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. I had no idea who it was that sang that song until super recently.
Yeah, I think that was the first song you actually added to our list.
It would not
way
shock me.
back when.
My mom loves that song.
I think that's why it was added.
Yeah, my mom absolutely 100% loves that song. And as a result, I knew it from a very, very young age and always kind of enjoyed it. And now, knowing as an adult that a hippo will definitely wreck your shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a hippo's a vegetarian. It doesn't eat you because it's hungry. It eats you because it's an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hippos are fucking nature's dicks, man. They are terrible creatures. They're huge, and they will wreck your shit for no reason other than they can.
Yep, exactly.
So, no, you do not want a hippopotamus for Christmas, little girl.
No.
Stop being stupid.
Your mom's right. Your teacher's wrong. Or at least misinforming you.
You know, the teacher's right. Hippos are vegetarians.
Yeah.
They will still fuck you up, though.
Yeah.
Hippos aren't they the most dangerous animals in the world other than mosquitoes?
Yeah, I think so.
They will fuck your shit up, man.
Yeah.
And then there's the old Holly Golightly song, Christmas Trees on Fire. I love the story of this one.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's an I Told You So song.
Yeah.
Basic plot is, girl's boyfriend says, please throw out the Christmas tree. It's kindling, basically.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Valentine's Day, predictable happens.
Yeah.
And we go from there.
Exactly.
Now, there's a few songs that are not on our list. And I wanted to talk about them and encourage you to check them out if you're interested.
You're skipping.
Oh, I am?
Sorry. Songs that are actually
good
kind
Lord, I
of
did.
pro-Christmas that are on our list
Yes, we have a couple, yes.
are SpongeBob SquarePants, Don't Be a Jerk.
Which is just, it's talking about all the negative behaviors that people exhibit at Christmas time.
Yeah.
But it's SpongeBob, so it's upbeat, it's happy, it's fun. It's
Right.
It's not really anti-Christmas, because SpongeBob loves Christmas. He just wants you to stop being a little asshole.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to be able to go shopping in peace.
Yeah, which is what I want, which is why it kind of jives with the theme,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. And Oscar the Grouch's Oscar Hates Christmas.
Yeah. Because even though that song is very negative on Christmas,
Yeah.
since it's Oscar the Grouch,
Yeah.
you got to take it from where it comes. So yeah. Now, then we get the songs that aren't on the list for one reason or another. One of my favorite songs of all time, and I have a recording of it now, again.
Right.
But it's Ira David Wood III, it's Halloween again. Basically, there's a theater company called Theater in the Park. They're from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Right.
And every year when I was a kid growing up, they would come to the Koger Center in Columbia, South Carolina, and do their musical performance of A Christmas Carol. And it was a Christmas tradition for us to go. We would go every year. And every year, my favorite song was Halloween again. Why? Because Scrooge is singing about, instead of Christmas, why can't we just have Halloween again?
Yeah.
Just repeat Halloween. And I am so down for that. And he makes such good points. And the whole of the song, it's a great song. It's beautiful, well sung. And one thing that is interesting is this year I may be able to see the performance. They've been doing it for like 47 years.
Yeah.
But this year, because of COVID-19, they're obviously not doing in-person performances. They will be doing a live stream performance of it. And I may check that out. I don't know.
I think we should, just because it's one of the first traditions that, I was included in with your
Yeah,
family.
you actually went one year. I remember
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So it would be nice to stream it, and all of us in the house have the experience.
It is pricey to stream.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be good, and I'm very curious to see it again. So definitely we'll check that out. Mm-hmm. We eliminated a couple of Bob River songs. One is The Restroom Door Said Gentleman. It's just not that great of a song in terms of the joke.
In terms of the joke, yes.
I mean, it's beautifully sung, yeah.
Harmonies in it are really pretty. But because of all of the, fights over bathrooms.
Which all of it's quite silly. Just let people pee.
Exactly.
It's very simple stuff. Just let people pee where they're comfortable peeing.
Yes.
And quit trying to check out people's genitals when they're in the restroom.
Exactly. We've removed it from the list because of that.
And like I said, also, there's better Bob Rivers.
There is.
There's just better Bob Rivers.
Yeah.
We have plenty of him. We didn't need more Bob Rivers, so we took it out. We also took out Frosty the Pervert. We took out actually a few other outright pornographic songs, even though we found them funny as hell and not offensive at all.
Right.
We wanted a list that could be more broadly shared. Now, Frosty the Pervert is interesting because it's attributed to Bob Rivers, but I have no evidence it actually was ever on his radio show.
Yeah, I have no idea where that one came
Whoever
from.
did it did an amazing job. Once again, like Restroom Door Said Gentleman, the singing is incredible.
Yeah, and originally we had the list broken up into 3 different categories.
Yeah, this was back in the CD days.
Back in the CDs. We had the PG one.
Yeah, the G/PG one.
Yeah, that we could give to anybody. Mm-hmm. And then we had
R, which introduced hard language.
Exactly.
Good songs, like Fuck Christmas and things like that would
and
be
then
on
we
there.
had the pornographic one.
The actual NC-17
which had
one.
everything on it, including
Which was no holds barred.
Yeah.
And honestly, doing 3 lists was easier in the CD days because you were limited to 70 minutes.
Right.
So we couldn't because we got 4.5 hours of music now.
Right.
The list now would take 4 or 5 CDs to fill up.
Yeah.
So doing 3 lists at this size would be a lot of work. So we just don't bother. We target, PG-13 to R.
Yeah, but if you're interested in
Check 'em
those,
out.
they're out there.
They're out there.
You can find them.
You can find those and Google them.
Yep.
Now, on to our personal favorites. Mm-hmm. And we didn't forget to remove one of them. But anyways, we want to talk about our personal favorites. Now, when we started this show notes, I knew we had the same favorite.
Yes.
And because we think alike. So what I decided is I was going to name one of my favorites that was not that one. You would do one of yours, and then we would talk about our mutual favorite, which is our actual top dog.
Yeah, exactly.
How's that? That make sense?
It does.
That way it's not as boring. It's just us hashing about one song that we agree upon completely. All right. For me, and I did not mention it anywhere in the show, once again, going back to I love lounge music. Mm-hmm. Ren and Stimpy, I Hate Christmas.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Ren and Stimpy would produce a musical classic like this. This is a beautiful song. Ren tickling the ivories, singing about his frustrations with Christmas, and just laying it on for 3.5 straight minutes. I mean, it's got a good crescendo to it. It's such a great song, and it's... Who knew they were so musically gifted?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I never would have thought Ren and Stimpy would have my favorite anti-Christmas song, but they did.
Right. And mine, we did mention, this is what you were talking about. Local H's Disgruntled Christmas is, as I said, one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, and that is a great song, too.
And it's really close between that and you know, Jean LaJoie.
Cold-Blooded Christmas.
Cold-Blooded Christmas.
Yeah, those are two very, very different songs.
Yeah.
Because Jean LaJoie is more straight comedy.
Right.
And that, he's describing a vicious murder, but it's done in a funny way. It's meant to be funny. Where Disgruntled Christmas, I don't think he's being very funny.
No, he's not being funny. He's being very serious.
He's being very deadly serious the whole time in that song.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's a great song.
But our mutual,
yes,
and we found this a few years ago.
Yes, and we just have not. It's been the top dog for both of us for at least 5 years now.
Yeah, and I think I found this one night while I was looking for new songs to.
Yeah, when we're doing the tradition,
Yeah, to do.
And we both, and like a lot of times when we're doing the new songs, what we'll do is we'll load up our queue on the TV with just a bunch of music.
Yeah.
And we're kind of listening a little passively to see what picks our attention up, what hooks us in.
Yeah.
And this song instantly grabbed both of us.
Yeah, and this is one to watch the video.
Absolutely.
Definitely watch the video for this. The song is Set It Off This Christmas.
With the chorus being,
Off
This
is the
Christmas,
band.
I'll burn it to the ground.
Yes.
It is an amazing heavy metal song.
Yeah, and it's got great instruments through it.
Great vocals, great lyrics. And the music
beautiful.
video is so creepy, as you said.
Yes. The mask that the main character wears is just great for haunters to look at.
Once again,
it's inspiring.
That is Set It Off This Christmas.
Yeah, Set It Off is the name of the band.
Yes. It is just an amazing song, and we think that's been our favorite now 5 years or 6 years running at least. It's been incredible, and honestly, I think that perfectly encapsulates how I feel about Christmas. It just nails the tone I'm trying to reach.
Yeah.
Almost perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. All right, so that is it for our discussion of the anti-Christmas list. Running a little bit over this week, but not a big deal. We've got a few moments to return to the question of the week. Do we have any answers to discuss?
Yes, we do. So the question of the week was, what is your favorite
Christmas myth or legend? Winter myth or legend.
Winter myth or legend. Ellie said Finnish Santa a la Rare Exports.
Yes.
And also the story of the fight between Ellie and Thor.
No, of course that would be her.
Yes. So that's Ellie's answer. Greg Rothberg, who was joining us live for the first time, said the Abdominal Snowman.
Abominable.
Abominable.
The Abdominal Snowman does a lot of crunches.
Yes. And slash Yeti.
Yeah.
Should have just said Yeti, and you would have known it. And Dawn Garlic said she just heard about the tale of the Yule Cat.
I got to look that one up. I'm not familiar with it.
We covered it.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Oh. And I forgot about it.
Yeah, well, that's because the Christmas ones I usually do the research on.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm just along for the ride on those.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Those are the 3 answers we have as of now. I'm sure we'll get more Wednesday when you post it.
Absolutely.
To the page.
And also, once again, if you're catching this recorded, definitely add more things there. You can do all the usual places, hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. You can send us comments, messages at all those places to enter yourself into this. And as always, you can find us at youtube.com/hauntweekly. All the previous episodes are available there, and we do read the comments. Mm-hmm. I get pretty little emails about those, so let me know if you have any feedback there, and also answer the question of the week. Once again, what is your favorite winter legend/myth? Mm-hmm. I think that's about it. I think we've covered the list very thoroughly. Like I said, you can find the URL to the list if you were just wanting to get it from the audio. It is tinyurl.com/anti-xmas2020. You can also just pull it from the show notes. We're going to add the link there in multiple places. It'll be on, like I said, HauntWeekly.com, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. We're going to be posting it to our Facebook page in the coming few days. It's going to be everywhere. So definitely feel free to check it out, look at the songs we discussed, and also feel free to make suggestions. That's one of the things is, we've been doing this for nearly 20 years. I'm pretty sure we've at least heard nearly everything, but we ain't heard it all. And I know we haven't.
Yeah, well, there's new songs every year.
New songs every week.
Yeah.
I mean, there's new stuff always coming out, and there's stuff, older stuff that we missed that just didn't come across our radar.
Yeah.
So on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week, hopefully with a guest. I'll see you then.